Will Palestine ever be free? It's a question we've all asked ourselves at some point. What does freedom mean for Palestine? Does it mean an end to the occupation? Does it mean a return to the land from which their ancestors were displaced? Or does it mean something else entirely? In 1948, when the State of Israel was established, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were forcibly removed from their homes. This event, known as the Nakba, or catastrophe, created a Palestinian refugee problem that persists to this day. In this video, we're going to try and answer this question by looking at the current situation on the ground. Since then, Palestinians have lived under a military occupation that has seen the growth of Israeli settlements on Palestinian land. They've grown up under occupation, and they know that only a free Palestine can ensure their future. Palestinians are educated, tech-savvy, and digitally connected. They're using social media to further the Palestinian cause and organize for change. Moreover, despite the hardships they face, Palestinians continue to resist. While this is seen as a more realistic option, it still faces significant obstacles, including the expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank and the continued control over Palestinian movement and resources. They've proven that they're willing to stand up for their rights, and they won't be deterred in the face of adversity. Well, unfortunately, after decades of trying, no one seems to know how to end the occupation. They've shown incredible resilience in the face of adversity, and their determination to achieve freedom is unwavering. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to stay up to date on our latest videos. The future may be unwritten, but the dream of freedom endures. Achieving a one-state solution would mean ending the occupation and establishing a single state in which Palestinians and Israelis live together as equals. However, this would require a significant change in Israeli policy and a willingness on the part of both sides to compromise. For example, the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, or BDS, has gained momentum in recent years, with students and activists around the world calling for an end to the occupation. Coexistence projects such as the Abraham Accords have the potential to create a more peaceful future. And globally, there is growing awareness of the Palestinian cause and the need for a just resolution. The Palestinian narrative has also gained traction in the diaspora, with millions of people around the world speaking out against the occupation and demanding justice for Palestine. They've pursued policies that have only exacerbated tensions with the Palestinians, such as the expansion of settlements, the construction of the wall, and the imposition of the siege on Gaza. There are other regional players who have an interest in maintaining the status quo, such as Egypt and Saudi Arabia. And internally, the Palestinians themselves are divided, which has weakened their ability to organize and resist. Peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians have repeatedly failed. The US and the UN have sponsored numerous attempts at creating a Palestinian state, but so far, nothing has worked. The Arab world has also not been able to broker a lasting peace, and the reasons for that are complex and varied. The construction of a wall that severs communities and allows Israel to exert greater control over the movement of people and goods, and the imposition of checkpoints that restrict the movement of Palestinians and allow Israel to maintain a constant state of control. The obstacles that stand in the way of Palestinian freedom, and finally, the signs of hope that the Palestinian cause will one day be realized. But before we begin, let's take a brief refresher course. In 1967, Israel occupied the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and Gaza. So what are the prospects for ending this occupation and achieving Palestinian freedom? However, there are other forces at play that are working towards Palestinian freedom. Moreover, the next generation of Palestinians are more determined than ever to achieve freedom for their people. So what does the future hold for Palestine? Will they achieve a one-state or a two-state solution, or neither? On the other hand, the two-state solution involves the creation of an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel. There are many obstacles that stand in the way of Palestinian freedom. One of the biggest is the current Israeli government. Despite these obstacles, there are signs of hope. There are a number of Israelis and Palestinians who are working towards a just and lasting peace. In the end, the question of whether Palestine will ever be free is ultimately up to the people of Palestine. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.